So, welcome back to my cubing tutorial. This is part 2. In this tutorial, I will be teaching you how to solve a 3x3 Rubik's Cube. If you haven't already seen part 1, there is a link to a playlist in the description which has all the parts to this tutorial once they all come out, of course. Without further ado, let's get into it. So, in last tutorial, I taught you about cube notation and what each letter means. But something that I forgot to mention in that video is the turn is as if you were to face that side. So R, it turns like this, because if you were to look at that side straight on and turn it clockwise, it would be going that way. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you actually the first part of how to solve the cube. Let's just get this cube all mixed up, and let me tell you what I'm going to be teaching you. Contrary to popular belief, you don't actually solve the cube one side at a time, because colors can move independently. So you solve one layer at a time. Let me show you what that means. You solve the first layer first, which is what I'm going to be teaching you in this video, which is the white side, and then all the colors around it matching like a band. Then in the next tutorial, I will be teaching you how to put these edge pieces in their right spots, which solves the second layer, just like that. And then for the last layer, you do a few algorithms to get the yellow side, and then do a few algorithms to get the corners in place, and then you do a few algorithms to get the edges in place, and then you're basically done. So anyways, the first layer. So first we're going to want to get a white cross done. And how you do that is you put each piece in its right spot so that the white center and its other color's center is matching up with it. Do that with all 4 edges. In this next part, I will teach you about all the different cases that you can get. If you have a white edge that's matching up with one of its other centers, you can just do F prime like that, and it matches it up like that. And if you have an edge that's up here and white is facing towards the outside and not up, what you do is you take that edge, put it so that if you turn the cube like this, it would match up with its center. And actually do R prime, then do F so that these 2 pieces line up, and then do R so that you can put this back right here. If you have any sort of edges on the second layer that are white, that aren't like right next to their center, what you can do is do R U R prime to get that into the top layer so that you can put it in its right spot in the bottom layer. And also, any of these cases can be done like almost reverse. So I have the blue edge right here instead of right here. I can do L, F prime, L prime. You can basically mirror most of these cases is what I'm saying. Another case that you can have is a flipped edge right here, which is in the bottom layer, and it could be lined up in the right spot, but it's flipped, so it isn't solved technically. So basically all you have to do to fix this case is do F2, and now you have it in the top layer, and you can do one of the other cases that you can have. Once you get good at making the cross, you need to figure out how to get these corners into the right spots. So if any of these corners are in the wrong spot or are just flipped wrong, all you have to do to make it so that you can put it into the right spot is do R, U, R prime. Then from there, you will have one of 3 other cases. Before we want to move on, I want to tell you about this one algorithm, per se, that we will be using in most of these things. This algorithm is RU, R prime, U prime. Get that memorized all in your brain? We're going to call that easy move. Now that you have that all memorized, let me teach you about some of the cases that you will get. The first case that you may get is you have a corner with the white facing up. So what you want to do is get that corner up above where it's supposed to be. So if I could flip this around, it would be in its right spot. After that, what you want to do is do easy move, easy move, easy move. Easy move 3 times, and then you'll get it into the right spot. Next case you may get is it's facing towards you. So what you want to do with that case is get the piece right above its slot so that if you turn it like this, it will be in its right spot, but it would take away that cross piece. So what you want to do is get the piece out of the way to the left, and then bring this cross piece up, so R. Then do U prime to get the piece next to the cross piece, and then do R to put those 2 things back. The last case that you can get is the white is pointing to the right. And all you have to do is do R, U, R prime. It's basically easy move, but without the U prime. Now that you've memorized those cases, you are basically ready to solve the first layer. So that is how you solve the first layer of the Rubik's Cube. You will see a few pixels of me on a screen next time.